In the last lesson, I talked a bit about how the pieces of content marketing interact with each other. Yet all of this works best if you have an audience of people who follow and value what you are publishing online. The basics of how to build your own audience is what I'll cover in this lesson. As we walk through this, take care to remember that we are looking for an engaged audience. This isn't a simple numbers game where more is better by itself. It matters a lot whether or not the people who follow you actually care about your content and what level of influence that they have in your market space. So first of all, when you start publishing online, here's the audience you have. Or this is what happens to your post. Bupkis. You get nothing. You have no audience. You have to do something to build it. And so there's a number of different approaches that you can use to accomplish that. So I mentioned press releases earlier, and I'm probably mentioning them too much in these various lessons, but since it's an old SEO tactic, I've kind of kept it in here. So they actually can still have some value. You release that press release on the wire service, someone shares it in Facebook, somebody else writes about it, and what happens is when they do that share or when they write about it, it gets in front of their audience. And that's what I call other people's audience. I might sometime refer to that as OPA for short. And getting in front of OPA is great because sometimes some of those people are going to be more curious and they're going to go to your site and they're going to start to become part of your audience. This is a really important concept. Remember, you start with no audience, or even if you're a large brand and you have an audience, you don't have an audience yet conditioned to getting content from you, and you still need to build that. So start with none, and then you get in front of other people's audiences to help build that audience. Next step, guest posts actually can help you in the same fashion. So here I'm showing the notion that you have this post in draft form, gets published on a third-party website, and bang, there I am, again, in front of somebody else's audience, or OPA. Wonderful stuff, because some of that OPA is going to go over to our site, and they're going to check it out, and some of them will become our audience. Next up, social media can help you build your audience as well. Concept is really very similar. So here I've got an article written on our site, this site in this case called Powered by Susie. Put that phone down is the compelling article title. And it gets shared by Susie on Twitter. So the author shares it on Twitter and gets in front of her own audience. Well, somebody in her own audience retweets it. In this case, Jack Stickman retweets that article saying, awesome post, right? And now you've gotten in front of Jack's audience. Once again, you've gotten in front of OPA. Some of those people might start to follow you, start to look for your content in the future. And again, you've begun to build your own audience. In this lesson, I've given you just a few ideas as to how you go about building your own audience. Having your own audience is of great value because it means that there are many more people out there who are likely to reshare your content or potentially link to it themselves. Be careful though, this is not a simple numbers game. More people will follow you only matters if they're following you because they're interested in the content you're producing. For example, don't fall into the trap of buying followers for your social media accounts. That will bring you no value at all. You want engaged followers that care about what you have to say, and you have to earn those. In the next and final lesson of this module, I'll walk you through a view of the content marketing ecosystem as a whole.